Hello, I am Megan and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. This channel hopefully is going to bring to you lots of content about sewing, dressmaking, maybe a little bit of lifestyle thrown in for fun, and I hope you enjoy it. So if you do like this content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, follow along on the journey, and of course put lots of comments in. I'll try and keep on top of those as much as I can. And if there's anything you want to add, if there's any suggestions, then feel free to put those in as well so that I can improve what I am sending out to you. So today I thought I'd start with having a little chat about a couple of patterns that have been featuring quite heavily on my Instagram page recently. If you follow along on my Instagram, you will have noticed a few of these popping up. I've made quite a lot of tops that look like this, and a couple of people have asked me what the differences are between the two of them, so I thought maybe this would be a great opportunity to unpack that a little bit. So there are two patterns, and they are the Anna Allan Demeter top slash dress, and the Helens Ashton top. They're both quite well known in the sewing community. Both look really quite similar, but there are some subtle differences. So I thought we'd have a little look at them. So I'll pop the line drawings up for you to have a little look in a minute. I am wearing right now the Anna Allan Demeter, so let's start with this one, shall we? I've got a couple here, in fact, to show you. I've made loads of these. Hopefully that's a good endorsement. So as you can see, it's a really simple shape. That's the front, that's the back. The front has got a couple of simple bust darts. It's got a bias bound neckline and armholes. This is me wearing one today. This one's in a rami linen, which is a natural fibre, gorgeous to wear. I think this is my favourite, I love this colour. This one's the vintage sort of crinkle cotton, which was a leftover from a blouse I made. One of the great things about both is that they only use a really small amount of fabric. I in fact made this one from a 60cm remnant and still had some left over, so I reckon in the smaller size range you can get it from ½ metre. This is one I made in double gauze as well. I was a bit nervous about making this one, if I'm being honest, because double gauze has a tendency to stretch, and going around armholes and neckline with a double gauze bias binding is a bit risky in my opinion. But the instructions on this does include stay stitching beforehand, and that really helps to prevent massive stretching out. It is looser fitting than this one is, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I love it. In fact, it's really soft and breezy and nice to wear. And then my other one is one that I made in 100% linen. This is inside out, but you get the gist. So all of them are sleeveless. I've done sleeveless versions because it's actually really hot in the UK right now, and all of them are bound necklines, as I said. The Demeter top does actually have a dress option too, and it also has an option for sleeves, so you can add on a little short sleeve or a longer sleeve, and it's got quite a full relaxed fitting skirt option to add to the bodice, so you can have a nice summer dress. And I think there's an option for ties at the waist as well. So you've got a few options there. It is quite a loose fitting garment, it's meant to be. Anna Allan describes it as a loose fitting pattern, but obviously you can size down if you want to. That is actually what I did with this. My bust measurements put me at a size bigger, but there was a fair amount of ease and I didn't want it to be gapey around the armhole, so I did size down. It only just fits at the arm, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't want it any tighter. Just enough room for movement there. And plenty of these here. I mean, you could grade. You just have to go by the finished garment measurements and see what works for you. But I love it. That's the back of it. I don't know if that helps. It's just a really great everyday top. It's got a simple double rolled hem on it. It goes perfectly with everything. So there's a lot of high-waisted trends at the minute. These are kind of mid-rise, but it just sits really nicely if you've got some high-waisted jeans. It works really well with all my skirts. I am a huge pattern lover, So loads of my skirts are flowery, bold prints, and then you get to that point where nothing goes with them and you can't wear them. So these have been a real godsend actually. These plain ones match with a lot of things. They match with wide leg trousers, jeans, and those pattern skirts that I'm talking about. So obviously 3 different colours. These look similar, but this is more lilac-y than pink. And they just work really well. I reckon I'll be wearing them a lot. And obviously if you wanted to take them into the different seasons, you can just add the sleeves on as well, and you've got something more suitable for autumn, winter. The 3 that I've just shown you are all made in wovens. The pattern's designed for wovens, and these are all sort of fairly stable. So ramie, linen, and the textured cotton are all kind of medium weight, easy to handle, quite structured. I don't see any reason why you couldn't make this in a viscose or something a little bit more slinky. Silk would probably be beautiful if you're confident enough to tackle the seams. I mean, I don't know how I'd cope with slippery bias binding in the silk fabric, but I think it would look absolutely stunning. And I think if you've got a pattern with a nice big bold print as well, it would show that off really beautifully. There's quite a trend at the minute for embroidered patterns, embroidered fabrics, broderie, that kind of thing. And again, I think this would be really pretty, and you could just have the scalloped hem that you have on a lot of the fabrics that you buy at the minute. So yeah, I think there's loads and loads of options for that one. I haven't tried the dress pattern yet. I want to try the dress. I'm a little bit nervous about it being oversized. I'm not particularly big. I'm 5'5", UK size 8, ready to wear. And I do worry that that style of dress might drown me. However, I think I've seen a few on Instagram recently with the waist ties, and it looks really pretty. So maybe I might give that one a go next. Watch this space. So the next one is the Helen's Closet Ashton top. Many of you will have heard of this and will have made this pattern already. It does look very similar on the hanger, as you can see. The neckline's different though. Let me just put them side by side. The Demeter is sort of wider. This one's deeper and narrower, I would say. Fit wise, I would say they're really similar. Maybe slightly less ease in the Helen's Closet, but I'd say actually it fits really similar on me. I didn't size down on this though. I went with my actual measurements and it's pretty spot on. So I guess if you're going by body measurements, the Demeter does have a bit more ease in it. But yeah, the ones I've made fit really similar. Lengthwise, so on the Demeter top, I did actually crop by about ½ inch. It's already quite cropped, but like I said, I wanted it with high-waisted things. This one, this is the finished length. So I've got the matching shorts on. This is kind of, it sits at my waistband when it's on, so you can kind of get an idea. It's yeah, waist length. There are 2 views to the Ashton. This is the cropped one, obviously, and there is a longer length one as well, so you can choose. And I think next time I would probably make this and then add maybe 1 inch to it. It's a tiny bit short on me, so I think I'd add 1 inch to the crop length. And again, this one is just really simple. I chose to bind the sleeves and armhole on this one, just like on the Demeter. I used pre-bought bias binding on this because I was feeling lazy, but it's quite fun because it means you can have some contrasting fabric, some scraps of something special, like if you've got some Liberty, and if you haven't got enough of the main fabric, you can mix and match and get some, you know, a really good scrap buster basically. The Ashton top does also have a hem facing, which the other one doesn't. I don't know if you can see, quite a nice deep hem facing on there, which is lovely. I do like a deep hem. I think it makes the top sort of sit well, or a skirt or whatever it's on. It makes it sit nicely, just gives it a nice finish. Again, you've got the simple bust darts as well. Yeah, just a nice basic top really. So the Helen's Closet Ashton does have the option of a sleeve expansion pack, which I did get because it was on sale. And it comes with 3 different sleeve options to add on to this, which means you can take it through to all seasons and do it in a range of different styles. And really, it's just giving you really good value for money. You get loads of different tops for you know, for the same pattern. So there is a short sleeve, a really pretty sort of tulip sleeve, which I think is my favourite, kind of double layered sleeve. And then there's also a longer flutter sleeve. And I'm sure you could adapt all of them lengthwise and widthwise and everything. So you've got the 3 sleeve variations with this one, and you've got the dress variation with the Demeter. I would say in terms of instructions and ease of make, they're very similar. They both have brilliant instructions. Helen's Closet to me are always amazing. I love her instructions. I think if in doubt, if you're a new sewist and you are kind of nervous about starting out on your journey, pick a Helen's Closet pattern and you'll be halfway there. She kind of holds your hand. There's really clear diagrams, really clear instructions, and often sew-alongs. I haven't actually looked for a sew-along for this one, but I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, and that would just kind of help you if you're feeling nervous. I would recommend, if you're a beginner, to definitely give both of these a go. They're simple, straightforward, and really quite satisfying to make. Size ranges, they're pretty size inclusive. The Helen's Closet is more size inclusive. So the Anna Allan one is 00 to size 20, and Helen's Closet is 0 to 32, I believe. So you've got a broader size range there, so a little bit more size inclusive if you need that. All in all, I mean, I love them both, obviously, because I've made so many. You know, you've got lightweight summer versions, you've got the sleeve options for the autumn winter. You can make it smarter for work with the pretty sleeves and make it more blousy and a viscose. They're just great. They're great little patterns to have, and I would recommend both of them. So if you haven't tried them before, give it a go. And again, like I said, if you're a beginner, just go for it. I don't think you can go too far wrong. The bias binding can be a little bit tricky and a little bit daunting to start with, but once you get into the flow, honestly, there'll be no stopping you. It's really great. You just need to take your time, go slow, follow the guidelines on your sewing machine, and you'll be absolutely fine. So I hope that has answered some of the questions about the differences between the two. I hope it's encouraged you to give them a go. And yeah, if you've got any questions, if you want to know about where any of the fabric's from or what the fit's like, anything like that, then pop questions down below and I'll try and get back to you. And if you want to see them in action, head over to my Instagram at Megan Sews Stuff, and you'll be able to see some little reels and things of me wearing them there. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful, and I'll see you soon.